Mark Grayson didn't save Earth in this moment. He traded the universe to do it. And the worst part, most people completely misunderstood what they were watching, because on the surface, it looks like a heroic sacrifice, a desperate choice to protect billions of lives. But if you look closer, really look at what Invincible is showing you, this isn't a victory. It's the exact moment Mark becomes something dangerously close to the very thing he's been fighting against since day one. And here's what makes it even more unsettling. Mark knows it. Before we break down why this decision is so disturbing, let's quickly recap what actually happens in this scene, because every detail matters. Mark stands face to face with Thragg, the most powerful Viltrumite alive, and instead of negotiating, Mark does what he always does. He attacks. He throws a punch, putting everything he has into it, and it does absolutely nothing. Not a stagger, not a reaction, nothing. That single moment is the entire scene in disguise. Because right there, Mark realizes something horrifying. This isn't a fight he can win. Not now, not later, not with strategy, not with emotion, not with sheer will. There is no version of this scenario where Mark walks away victorious, and Thragg knows it too. But here's where it gets worse. Thragg doesn't immediately kill him, he doesn't escalate. Instead, he does something far more dangerous. He offers a solution, a calm, calculated, terrifyingly logical solution. The Viltrumites will stay on Earth. They will rebuild their numbers. They will live among humans. And in return, Earth survives. No war, no destruction, no extinction. Just cooperation. And that's the trap. Because on paper, this sounds like peace. It sounds reasonable. It sounds like the kind of compromise a hero is supposed to consider. But in reality, it's something else entirely. It's control. It's domination without resistance. And most importantly, it's inevitable expansion disguised as coexistence. Mark understands this immediately. You can see it in how he reacts. He clenches his fists. He prepares to fight again, because every instinct in his body is screaming that this is wrong, that letting Viltrumites live on Earth is not a solution. It's a delayed catastrophe. And for a brief moment, it looks like he's going to refuse. But then something shifts. Mark doesn't see Thragg anymore. He sees something worse. He sees the future. Not a hypothetical future, not a vague possibility, a vivid, brutal, unavoidable outcome. His loved ones dead, the planet destroyed, everything he's tried to protect erased in seconds. And that's the moment he breaks. Not physically, mentally. Because Mark isn't making a decision as a hero anymore. He's making it as someone who has run out of options. And this is where most people completely misread the scene. They think Mark chose Earth over the universe, that he made a noble sacrifice to protect the people he loves. But that's not what happened. Mark didn't choose the greater good. He chose the only outcome where the people he cares about don't die immediately. That's not heroism. That's survival. And that distinction changes everything. Because once you understand that, you start to see the decision for what it really is. Mark isn't stopping the Viltrumites. He's not defeating them. He's not even delaying them in any meaningful way. He's simply choosing where their conquest begins again. Not Earth, somewhere else. And that's what makes this moment so dangerous. Because by agreeing to Thragg's terms, Mark doesn't prevent genocide. He postpones it. He redirects it. He ensures that when the Viltrumites rise again, it won't be here. It will be out there, in civilizations that don't have a Mark Grayson to protect them. And he knows that. That's why this doesn't feel like a win. There's no relief, no sense of triumph, just quiet, suffocating weight. Because Mark understands the cost of what he's just agreed to. He understands that he hasn't solved anything. He's just pushed the consequences further away. And this is the part nobody talks about. Mark becomes exactly like Omni-Man in this moment. Not in power, not in ideology, but in logic. Because Omni-Man always believed in a version of the greater good. He believed that sacrificing a smaller group for a stronger future was justified, that emotions were secondary to outcomes, that domination, if it led to stability, was acceptable. Mark rejected that. Until now. Because what is Mark doing here really? He's choosing one planet over countless others. He's accepting future suffering to prevent immediate loss. He's making a cold, calculated decision that prioritizes proximity over morality. The only difference is that Mark hates himself for it, and that's what makes this moment so powerful, because this isn't the transformation where the hero becomes evil. It's worse than that. It's a transformation where the hero becomes understandable, where you can see exactly why he made the choice and still feel deeply uncomfortable with it. And here's where it gets even darker. A lot of people assume Mark can fix this later, that he can warn someone like Cecil, that he can secretly prepare for the Viltrumites, that this is all part of a larger plan. It's not, because Thragg didn't just offer a deal, he created a cage. Any attempt to break that agreement results in one outcome. Earth dies, immediately, completely, without hesitation. The Viltrumites don't negotiate twice. They don't give second chances, and Mark knows that better than anyone. So now, he's trapped. He can't fight. He can't warn anyone. He can't resist. All he can do is live with the decision. And that might be the most brutal part of all, because Mark's entire identity has always been built on one belief, that he can protect people, that no matter how bad things get, he'll find a way to save lives, that being a hero means refusing to accept impossible choices. But this moment destroys that belief completely. Because for the first time, Mark is forced to accept something he's been avoiding his entire life. He can't save everyone. Not because he's not strong enough, but because the situation doesn't allow it. And instead of fighting against that reality, he gives into it. He adapts. He chooses the version of the future where the damage is minimized, at least from his perspective. And that's what makes this moment so terrifying. Not because Mark failed, but because he acted logically. Because if you strip away the emotion, the fear, the attachment, his decision actually makes sense. If your only goal is to protect Earth, then yes, this is the correct move. It guarantees survival. It prevents immediate destruction. It saves billions of lives. But it also guarantees something else, that the Viltrumite Empire will rise again, stronger, more prepared, and this time with Earth as its foundation. That's the trade Mark makes, and the show doesn't try to comfort you about it. There's no hidden reassurance, no indication that things will magically work out, just a lingering question hanging over everything. Was it worth it? And the truth is, there is no clean answer. Because if you say yes, you're accepting that other worlds will suffer so Earth can live. And if you say no, you're accepting that Mark should have risked everything, including his family, on a fight he couldn't win. That's the genius of this moment. It forces you into the same position Mark was in, and no matter what you choose, it feels wrong. So when people ask why Mark agreed to let the Viltrumites stay on Earth, they're asking the wrong question. The real question is, what was the alternative? Because once you truly understand the situation, you realize something uncomfortable. There wasn't one. There was no hidden strategy, no last-minute escape, no heroic comeback waiting to happen. Just two outcomes: immediate destruction or delayed consequences. And Mark chose delay. Not because he wanted to, but because it was the only way to keep the people he cared about alive. And that's why this moment hits so hard. Because it doesn't show a hero winning, it shows a hero surviving, at a cost he'll never be able to undo. And the scariest part, if you were standing in his place, seeing what he saw, feeling what he felt, you probably would have made the exact same choice.